The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 7. Hello everyone, my name is Brian Reyes, and welcome to another Daily Devotional. Now today we're going to be reading page January 4th, and the title of the day is called The Farmer's Apples. Now there was a certain farmer, and she had lots of animals, including a horse, some sheep, a llama, an alpaca, and more rabbits than you could pull out of a hat in 10 minutes. On her farm was a whole bunch of apple trees, and those apple trees, every year without fail, were covered with a whole bunch of apples. Nope, not the Mac kind. Every year she ignored those apples because they were ugly. When I say ugly, I mean so ugly that if you saw them in the supermarket next to the pretty apples, you'd cover your eyes and scream, "What are those things?" So those apples just rotted into the ground every year, except for the ones that the deer ate. They mostly came out to eat at night, and in the dark they couldn't tell the difference. One day the farmer thought the horse might not be too picky. So for a couple of years she brought apples to the horse, and he ate them in broad daylight and didn't seem to mind too much. Then one year, when she was picking up apples for the horse, the farmer noticed that some of the apples were fairly large for wild apples. Some of them didn't even look terrible, just kind of awful. So she thought she might make some applesauce with them since pretty apples weren't necessary for the aforementioned sauce, because they weren't only going to get mashed up anyway. So the farmer picked some of the apples and made them into a very tasty applesauce. Lo and behold, one day she was picking up some apples to give to the sheep who wanted to get in on all the new apple action. She decided to taste one herself. And do you know it was one of the most delicious, crispest apples I have ever ate? I didn't think those apples had any value because they were ugly. I tend to think the same way about ugly things in my life. Trials, irritating people, uncomfortable situations. I whine about them and wish they would go away. However, God can use everything, not just good things, to help us become more like Him. And it's often during the ugly times of life that we grow closer to Him. What's ugly in your life today, and how might God use it for good? Now, when's the last time you've seen the most ugliest thing? Instead of listing all the negative things about it, can you list any positive things about it? Well, if there are any, those positive things can be used for God. Just because the apple looks ugly in the outside doesn't mean that it's not tasty in the inside. That could be represented in an ugly person. It doesn't matter if what that person looks like is nice in the outside. It matters if that person is nice in the inside. So the next time you see an ugly thing, list all the positive things about it. The ugly times in life is just what you might need. Remember that God can turn any ugly thing around. This has been another Daily Devotional. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.